right ahead and we'll jump right in. So today what we're going to talk about are 5 ways to increase your views in YouTube. And most, if not all of you, are probably already using YouTube and you want to do better. So that's what we're going to talk about. And I want to warn you all that in preparation for this class, I love to keep things simple. And in this particular case, I did do that, but I also am going to provide you, I have good news and bad news. The good news is that we're going to cover a lot of information, but the bad news is it's going to be a lot of information. So I'm going to kind of run through some things, and I'm going to provide you all with a very, very in-depth guide that you'll be able to refer back to later. So you really don't have to take many notes because I've done all that heavy lifting for you. With that said, I'm going to share my screen and we're just going to jump in because we have a lot to cover in a short time to do it. So I'm going to run through the information that I have in those 5 tips that we talked about in the title of the class. And at the end, I want to give plenty of time for us to have questions. So I will skim. If there's something that I'm talking about that you feel like you'd really like to dig into deeper, feel free to put it in the chat. And somebody will let me know. Kamara, you will let me know. And when Rose gets back, she'll let me know if somebody hits the chat because I won't be monitoring that. So for the intents and purposes of examples, I always like to have good examples. And I looked at a lot of different YouTube channels and YouTube videos. And to be quite honest, and I'm not plugging them because they asked me to, I didn't even ask permission to do this, but I'm going to use Supreme Title's video channel as the example in many of the pieces that we're going to talk about. And the reason I'm going to do that is because they're just really doing a stellar job. And it's very easy. One of the things that I do that I specialize in is picking people apart. And I joke and tell people, you're paying me to beat you up. And it's really difficult to beat them up because they really are doing a great job. Now, trust me, I could find something to pin them for, but I really didn't see anything. So that being said, I'm going to jump right over to the document that I created for you. And I thought that typically I do a PowerPoint presentation that has a lot of frou-frou information on it and cute pictures. I did not do that. I opted instead, because I'm going to cover so much information today, I opted to use the guide that I'm going to give to you when we're done so you can kind of see how you can use it as a working document. The first thing that I want to say, though, is don't let it overwhelm you, because there is an incredible amount of information. Use the guide. Don't try to use it in its entirety. Use bits and pieces of it and use it as a working document. I would recommend that you use it 2 different ways. I formatted it in such a way that you can hole punch it and put it in a binder. It is 23 pages long, but you can hole punch it and put it in a binder. There are going to be some pages that you'll probably want to mark up. And you also use it as a digital document because I've set it up so you can easily get wherever you want to go. So this first page is the index, and all of these links jump into the document to the exact section that you want to go to. And so that's the first page. And then this is going to jump into the pieces that we're going to cover today. So again, we're covering 5 tips. And those first 5 tips, just as a quick overview, is 1, come prepared. 2, create content. 3, optimize. 4, dig deeper. And 5, spread the word. So you're probably all already doing parts and pieces of that. But what we're really going to focus on today is optimizing. So optimizing just means making it better. And we'll start with coming to the camera prepared. The first thing that I want to stress to everyone is why YouTube is important in the first place. And I know that more and more realtors are focusing more on YouTube, but I think that there's still room for people to take it more seriously. And the reason that is, the number one reason in my industry, when I'm working with someone, that I'm going to recommend that they use YouTube and that they use it well, is because it is the second largest search engine. And people more and more are consuming video content. You already know that. There are things that I'm going to talk about today that I know you already know. But the difference, so the opportunity for you is to do it better. And doing it better actually comes down to simplifying and systemizing. And so I'd like to encourage you to focus on simplifying and systemizing. And again, you don't have to be the pro. If you don't have someone who you have hired to produce videos for you and you're on a do-it-yourself schedule, that can be very overwhelming. And just for the purpose of my information, I would really like for everyone that's here to weigh in and chat and tell me if you are a DIY, you're do-it-yourself, or you have support that is helping you either produce videos or edit videos. And I'd really like to know where you're at and where the industry has evolved. The last time I did a check-in, everyone was do-it-yourself. And I'm curious how many of you, if any, are dedicating budget to hiring a videographer or a video editor to support you in your video development. So videos rank easier than websites and listings. And I don't know if any of you have Googled a property or Googled a subject relative to the real estate industry and seen the videos that pop up in Google when you do that. If you haven't, I would encourage you to do that because it definitely is more predominant now than it has been in the past. So it's important to understand why YouTube is important. That's the first thing. It builds credibility. It gives you an opportunity to showcase your properties, but using YouTube is about way more than showcasing properties. And with that being said, I want to pop back over here to the Supreme Title channel real quick. And I want to show you something just to kind of back that up. When you look at the videos that Supreme Title shares, of course, we all know that they do such a great job with their cute, funny videos. And the fact of the matter is that catches attention. But they also provide playlists of virtual classes, their agents, title talk, title tips. It's not all just fun and games, but definitely that fun and games is attractive to their viewers. So the next section I want to talk about a little bit is understanding your audience. And I know that realtors are very good at understanding their demographics. You have to know who your buyers are. And I know that's something that you talk about often. But I'd like to challenge you when you are working on your plans, your content plans, and preparing to come to your channel to post videos, that you are separating out the demographics of who your target audience is and not just focusing in on one group, unless you happen to be in an agency that does focus in on just one group. That's fine, but keep in mind that building your credibility spans across a variety of demographics. So this section you can read for yourself, and I try to give examples for every point that I make here. And there are some examples. First-time home buyer might be interested in, how to navigate the buying process, what the local school grades are, because they tend to be younger, understanding mortgage options, where a luxury buyer is more interested in the high-end properties, what marketing trends may be, and that sort of thing. So now let's jump into a little bit deeper information. We're going to cover the other 4 points, which are create, optimize, dig deeper, and spread the word. Creation, again, when you're navigating this document digitally after you receive it, each one of these are links that will jump to that section in the document to help you navigate to exactly what you want. And again, I want to encourage you to use this document as a working document. Don't try to consume it all in one bite. I'm going to tell you what I want you to focus on first. And then of course you can consume it however works for you and depending on where you are already in your journey in video development. So in the creation, the basic point is make it worth watching. I see a lot of real estate videos and, excuse me if I poke anybody, but I see a lot of real estate videos that are actually just a collection of images set to a slideshow, very 2005-ish, with some music behind them. And if you're doing that, please stop. Just stop doing it. Nobody wants to do that. If I want to look at videos of a property, I want to be able to click through the videos and make them bigger. I don't want you to set them to music for me. If you can't shoot an actual video, a moving video, don't create a video. At the very bare minimum, use images and video clips together. That's okay. But nobody wants to see a slideshow of images set to music. You want to focus on high quality, engaging content. Again, go beyond your property tours and include market updates, neighborhood guides, business and school coverage, special events, etc. I worked with a real estate agent a few years ago who did a phenomenal job of going out into the community and shooting video clips of local businesses. And she did a really great job doing that. And there are a couple of reasons why that was really successful for her. It gave her an opportunity to connect with the local businesses, and it also gave consumers an opportunity to see her out and about in the community. It boosted her credibility, and it also gave them an opportunity to see what was out in the neighborhoods that they were looking at buying in. So I encourage you to do that sort of thing. And I would really like to hear from you if any of you are already doing that. If you're already creating videos that extend beyond just property tours, put that in the chat for me. I would like to see, and if you are, what is your favorite type of video to create? Is it market updates, neighborhood guides? Are you out at events and showcasing the neighborhood? What type of videos do you like producing right now? And I'm asking you to put that in the chat. I could see, although I'm not looking at the chat right now, I'll review it after the session is over. I am going to take a look at it, and I really do want your input. So put that in the chat if you're already creating videos that go beyond property tours. So when you're planning, so the first tip is plan, right? Come prepared and plan. So when you're creating content and you're making engaging content, one of the best ways to do that is to use storytelling techniques. And if you're not familiar with that process, there's a whole section here. Like I say, you can see the links there. There's a whole section that's going to guide you more in depth in each one of these points. And I'm going to show you a little bit of that in just a minute. It's a very powerful tool, storytelling. It's like watching a movie. And again, if you don't have help and you don't have someone who's editing your videos, don't overthink it. Do the best you can do. You'll get better. Everyone starts somewhere. So if you're not currently doing that sort of thing, don't beat yourself up. Don't be self-conscious about it. Just jump in and do it. So for myself, that real estate agent that I mentioned to you did such a great job. And she was in her videos. And I had wanted to do videos for a long, long time. And I just always beat myself up. I would shoot videos and I think, ugh, I look terrible. I don't like my voice. I don't like the expressions on my face. I don't like these things. And so I asked her one day, I said, how do you do that? Because she didn't always look fabulous in her videos, but her videos were fabulous. And they got a lot of engagement. And they really did help elevate her in her market. And she said, I don't watch my videos. I shoot them, I load them, I distribute them, I don't watch them. And I thought, well, that's a unique perspective and a little scary still, but I decided to do it. And I started shooting a series of interview style videos. I started that in 2020. And it's funny to me when I go back to my channel and I look at the first, probably dozen videos that I shot, they were not great. But I was too stuffy. I wasn't comfortable in front of the camera. I was really self-conscious. And when I stopped watching and I just started shooting and uploading them and letting them fly on their own merit, I became more and more comfortable. And consequently, my videos got better and better. And so I would encourage you to do that. First, be patient with yourself and kind, and encourage yourself to let yourself grow. Using storytelling techniques is a wonderful way to start out. And then the last piece of the creation is ask them to do something. So throughout the video, and especially at the end of your video, you always want to have a call to action, which is CTA. A call to action you're all familiar with, which is, subscribe for more property insights or join my locals Facebook group, something along that line. And I've actually provided in this guide a whole, I think it's 2 pages of suggested calls to action that you can use. So that being said, I'm going to jump over to my next screen and show you exactly how you can navigate to that section. So if I click here at create engaging content, it's going to jump right down. See how it did that? So these are some simple tips. I really prefer to keep classes like this simple and not so packed with information. I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you today, but this is such a huge topic. And in my opinion, it is such a great way for a realtor to really spread their credibility, become more visible in their community, and just boost their professionalism and what they want to do in their community. It's just such a wonderful way to do it. I wanted to give you all the tools that I could to help you do that. So these are great, simple tips to help keep your viewers engaged in your videos. Start strong, keep it short and sweet, tell a story, be yourself. We've talked about all of those things. And then it starts getting into a little bit more clinical stuff. Mix up your shots, give some recommendations for how you can do that, add visual interest using different angles. I recommend when someone is do-it-yourself shooting videos, just use your phone. You've got a expensive camera right in your hand, and they're very, very good. Use your phone, shoot some video, pause it. Shoot some more video, pause it, shoot some more video, pause it. You don't have to do a lot of editing. Let it be what it is. Learn how to use your phone and the video capabilities that are already on board in that device that you're carrying around and paid a lot of money for. You can, if you want to, get into more editing and get more sophisticated and spend more time. If you have the aptitude for that and you have the time to do that, fine. Or if you have someone you're paying to do that, fine. Then use B-roll. Go into an editing program and edit those videos. But if you don't, do not let that hold you back. Ask questions, get the viewers involved. I like to talk to people. Frankly, I don't care to do videos that are one-on-one where I'm just looking at a camera and I'm just talking to the camera. I have a hard time personally getting comfortable in that environment. So learn yourself. I do much better in a video if I have someone to jockey off of. And so you can see Rose and Tracy do a fabulous job doing that. They shoot a lot of really cool videos together, and their synergy is fabulous. So if you want to do that, you can do that. If you like being in front of the camera alone, you can. Talk to your people. Talk to the phone as if you're talking to the people who we want to watch the video. Stay energetic. A smile on your face is always welcoming. And it's the same with a video. If you're energetic and you're happy and you're upbeat, you vary your tone, use pauses, changes in your voice to emphasize key points. Those are all really good suggestions. End with a clear next step. And that, again, is something that you're going to have to practice. And you, over time, you'll start naturally doing that if you're not doing it already. At the end of your video, end with exactly what you want them to do. And that's your call to action. Check your analytics. We'll go into that a little bit more later. Engage after posting also. And these are all just simple tips designed to be almost a checklist for you. Keep it straightforward. Focus on what will keep viewers watching until the very end. And till the very end, let's talk for just a second about video length. And so before I talk about video length, I would like for you in the chat right now, I would like for you to tell me what length of a video will you watch to the end. So if you look at a video, if you pull up a video to look at something and you've chosen to look at it, at what point do you lose interest? Now, keep in mind, everyone is different. There are some industry standards. I don't know that I agree with them statistics. I could tell you what my personal viewpoint is. If I watch more than about a minute, you've really done something. You have really captured my attention. So I want you to think about how long can I hold your attention in a video? How long am I holding your attention now? I hope I'm not boring you to death. Is everyone awake? Tell me. I'm going to look at the chat right now. Said I wasn't going to, but I'm going to. Awake. Yes. 20 seconds, some 15 seconds. Oh my gosh, I thought I was ADD. You guys have me beat. I'm impressed. Yes. Unless it's amazing. 20 seconds, unless it's amazing. So, you know, really, it's a challenge because we all are ADD to a degree now because of technology. And so if you were born ADD, imagine how complicated that is. So yes, you have to grab that attention. You got to grab it fast. Keep that in mind when you're shooting a video. Don't fall in love with yourself and your subject. Make sure you're shooting a video for who's watching it. Keep it straightforward. Don't become overwhelmed with the idea of creating perfect videos. Just stay focused on the pieces that get attention. Move viewers to conversations. At the end of the day, that's what you want to do. You want to move a viewer to a conversation. So if you're optimizing your videos to move viewers to conversations, I always tell people when they're writing content, edit with the delete key. Do the same thing with your video. Always have a person in your video. I'm going to give you a lot of information here because I like to back up what I say. And so this is very clinical information on why the argument for having a person in a video is legit. And this is clinical psychology. People like people. It catches our subconscious brain, like it or not. If it's not you in the video, it should be someone else. If you have to pull video clips of stock video, do it. If you're not comfortable being in front of the camera, but if you have a face and you think about yourself and how you respond, you know, those videos that are just pictures of, you know, properties probably don't hold your attention much. Now, if you see a video of an agent who's walking through a property and they're in the video themselves, that'll catch your attention. And if it's not you, and some of you just do not want to be on video, and I understand that, try to work yourself into it. But if you can't, have someone else or have B-roll that has people in there. This is the section that I mentioned to you about storytelling and how it creates video, how you can create engaging video content. So I have a typo in there. My apologies. So this is an example. I like to give people examples, concrete examples of what I'm talking about. So what I did, and I used AI for a lot of this, and if you're not using AI, you should be responsibly, of course. And if you aren't familiar with how to use it or aren't sure where to start, we did a great class on ChatGPT and how to use it. And I think that they have that recording if you want to go back and review it. And I'm going to give you one simple tip about using AI that'll change your life if you're not already doing this. So this is an AI generated example of how effective storytelling in a real estate video for a luxury home. These are the specs that I gave it. I wanted a luxury home in a gated community with award-winning schools that's close to the beach and a vibrant downtown and just a short drive to a major city. This is what it gave me. It laid it out for me completely. Now, does that mean I would use this just as it is? No, I probably would not, for a variety of reasons, probably budget being one of them. But it gives me a great place to start. And if nothing else, it sparks my creativity. So if you're having a hard time with creating a plan for a story told type of video, I encourage you to go to AI and ask it to give me an example of storytelling for a real estate video for this, and lay out exactly what you want to display, exactly what type of feel you want. Tell it also how long you want the video to be. I did not do that. And you can see there are several points. So there are 4 different points here. And that's going to be a lengthy video. So unless I'm actually trying to create a documentary, I'm probably not going to do that. But it's great information. And then it also tells you why it works. It's emotionally engaging. It's got a story arc. It's visually appealing. And it's targeted messaging. So finally, in this section for content, samples of effective call to action that I promised you, this is a list of some samples that you can use. And again, this is designed to help you with that creative spark. So these are just some ideas. And again, this is a great way to use AI, is to go in and ask AI to give you an effective call to action for a video that does this or does that. And the more information you give AI, the better. So I'm going to pop back over here. Now that's our creation point. Our next is optimization. Optimization is setting it up for success. And this is the piece that I really want you all to focus on. Although we're talking about 5 things: creation, come prepared, create, optimize, dig deeper, and spread the word. Optimization is the #1 tip that I want you to walk away from today. And optimization is making it better. So if we're making it better, I have pop here. Optimization guide. So there are 5 pieces here. The optimization guide: tools to help simplify the process. You have to love that. Optimize your video titles, invest in eye-catching thumbnails, use descriptions and tags effectively. So if I pop to the optimization guide, you can see that I have a note here suggesting that you use this as a checklist. So I would recommend that you print this separately, and until you get to a point that you just internalize this process and it's just become second nature for you, use this and go back through and kind of use it as a checklist. Am I doing all of these things? And if you are, I'm going to tell you that you will stand out in your community and against your competition, pure and simple, because almost no one is incorporating all of these optimization points. However, I do want to mention that our friendly people at Supreme Title are doing a fabulous job with these things. So I'm going to jump over here to the videos. I'm going to save the world. We'll go to our Save the World video because I think it's adorable. And you got to love the way that I stopped that video on this particular thumbnail. I think it'd be a great attention-getting thumbnail. Tracy and Rose. So we have a good title. We have a good description. We have hashtags. Jump back over here to this optimization guide. So we start with content planning. We have the video title, and each piece gives you some very simple input on how to do these things. Thumbnail design, video description, tags, the video file name. And this is an obscure little piece of information that a lot of people don't realize is important. If you name your video file with your primary keyword before uploading. Category selection. Selecting the appropriate category for your video will help YouTube understand and promote your content. Playlist assignment. Let me show you playlist real quick. So if I pop back over to Spring Title, you can see here we've got home, videos, playlist. So if I jump to the playlist, which we looked at briefly earlier, you can see that they've organized their videos by playlist. And that helps. What you always want to do is help your viewers consume your content. So they're helping their viewers consume that content. Closed captions, you can upload a caption file or you can use YouTube's auto caption feature. And that's not something you have to do. You can do it, especially if you feel like your audio is not exactly what you want it to be. And that is an advanced feature. End cards and screens, also an advanced feature, but something I would encourage you on your roadmap to look into. Video sharing, which we'll talk about again in a minute, community engagement, monitor performance, and ongoing promotion. So this guide, if you do nothing else, when you walk away from this class today, print this guide and start following those pieces. If you do that one thing, you will increase the views and you will increase the quality of your video output. I promise you. Tools for YouTube optimization. Now, this is a subject dear to my heart. I am a lover of tools, especially now. AI has become its own little entity, hasn't it? And there are so many tools now that it can actually become overwhelming. So what I've done is I've provided 3 tools that you can use that should be quite user-friendly for you. One is Canva. Most of you are probably already using Canva. And I would encourage you to use Canva for creating your thumbnails. You can create a template for it so you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. There's a section in this guide that gives you some information on suggested practices for creating thumbnails. The next is TubeBuddy. It's a browser extension that has a variety of tools that will help you with keyword research, SEO, and channel management. And then vidIQ, which is a YouTube optimization tool that lets you have access to deeper analytics and insights. And the reason that's important is because it's important to measure what you're getting results from. So if you're creating a bunch of content, the last thing you want to do is waste your time. So if you're creating a bunch of content that's not getting any views and it's not getting any attention, then you want to switch up your plan. So looking at analytics is important. Attention grabbing YouTube titles and relevant keywords. This section digs deeper into how to focus on keywords. How many of you knew, if you already knew that YouTube is a great SEO tool, which is search engine optimization, which means that Google is giving you credit for the content that you have, and it is helping you be more visible overall on the internet. That YouTube is an SEO tool. If you already knew that in the chat, just say yes, I already knew that. I knew that, Janice. Be quiet. I knew that. I'm curious how many of you already knew that YouTube is a great SEO tool. Again, attention grabbing YouTube titles and relevant keywords. This just gives you several suggestions. Keep it concise and structured, create intrigue or offer value, use numbers and lists. These are all things that you can incorporate in your video. Creating video thumbnails that help attract clicks. That's important So we all know that when you upload a video to YouTube, it gives you a few, depending on the length of the video, it gives you a few options to just grab uh, a thumbnail and use whatever thumbnail that they offer you. But you can also upload your own thumbnail. So, is it worth it to create your own thumbnail? It depends. Do you have the time? Do you have the ability to create a compelling thumbnail? Are the thumbnails that they're providing just kind of meh, which sometimes they can be. So let's look for just a moment at the videos on Supreme Titles channel. And let's look at the thumbnails. So these are the thumbnails that are provided when someone comes to your channel, or if someone shares you, or someone else shares your video in social media and that sort of thing. So you can see like the Save the World thumbnail is fabulous. And it looks like they are probably using, and I don't know, Tracy or Rose, I don't know if one of you are here or not. I don't know that it doesn't look to me that they're creating their own thumbnails. And
Hey.
again, hey,
So
hey,
sometimes we are, sometimes
okay.
we're not. So you can kind
It's
of
not,
notice on the Deb and Marianne Save the World and Deb and Marianne the Hurricane one.
yeah,
Those are, and then like the one next to that, Go to an Open House. Those are photos that were taken on set, I guess you could say. They were taken on set and meant to be the thumbnail. Like we kind of pose our
yep,
photos for the thumbnail. The one over here for Deb and Marianne Go to an Open House, that one was created on Canva.
okay.
So
See,
if we're
and I
gonna
love
do,
it.
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, no. Thank you for weighing in, because you support the point, which is it's not always necessary, right? It depends on how important it is. How important is the video? Did YouTube give you a decent thumbnail to choose from? And do you have time? Is it that important? Is the bottom line. And those are great. Like I love those. The Hey Realtor Lady
And to
and
be
the
honest with you, Janice, if now that I'm looking at this like from a more outside perspective, like I would go back in here and maybe change some of the thumbnails for a couple of these videos. The ones that are like entertainment, like the quoting and marketing
yes.
app training, that doesn't need a special thumbnail because that's just like a training class. But the one next to it, the office 9 to 5 possession, that one I feel like definitely could use a different thumbnail that I'd like to update. So, it's just interesting to look back and see maybe the changes I would have made now, knowing
Yeah.
what I know now versus what I knew then.
Yeah. And, and a lot of these videos that are on this particular screen are older, but I mean, there's some great ones. And you guys really do a fabulous job on your YouTube channel, one of the best that
Oh,
I've seen.
go on,
And they
Janice.
really didn't pay me to say that. No, you really do. And I want to mention too that where can you watch fireworks and best place to live in Florida for millennial. Those screenshots are fabulous. I love them. And it catches my attention. It just does. But again, I want to focus on one thing that I say over and over again. Don't try to be perfect. You can't be perfect. You can come back later and you can always modify, just like Rose just said. Well, maybe I might go back and change something. And if it's worthwhile, then do it. If you have the time, then do it. Time is the most our scarce commodity, isn't it? But yeah, so thank you for weighing in on that. I kind of thought that was the case. Like I love this Supreme Title tips. The thumbnail there is fabulous. I mean, really, you guys have most.
A lot of the time, the thumbnails that I pick, like especially on the informational ones, like, the
Mhm.
homestead exemption videos, you can see it there. You can see it on the one with Heidi, how to read the title commitment on that bottom row. When it's informational videos, I have to make those kind of infographic type things on Canva anyway. So after I
Mhm.
make them on Canva and I put them on the video, I just end up using that one as my thumbnail as well. because it's the piece of the video that has the most value.
Yeah. Look, there's me. Don't break the bank. Very good. Well, thank you for weighing in. I appreciate
Course.
that. I love visuals. I love graphics. I love playing in Canva, but it can be a time suck. So if it's not absolutely necessary and it's not going to make a huge difference, you don't have to obsess about that. But it is a piece of the puzzle. And then here are some tips for designing thumbnails that stand out, which you can use these tips. Personally, I find it more useful to go to a channel like Spring Title, take a look at what they have and kind of gauge what resonates with you and get an idea. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. So that's my stance on that. Guide to optimizing YouTube video descriptions with keywords and links. And there's, very detailed information here. As you can see, I have given you all a lot of information. What I don't want you to do, again, is I don't want you to feel like you have to do all of these things or that you have to be perfect. I just wanted to provide you with as much backup information as possible so you could take it away and be successful with it. Going back to AI, so I told you I was going to share the one tip that would change your life, maybe. That's a little arrogant of me to say, but it changed mine when I discovered this. And I actually discovered this in my preparation for the class that I provided on ChatGPT and using ChatGPT. I was trying to build out a very full-featured guide like this for that class. And so one of the things that I asked ChatGPT was, give me a good example of a prompt that a realtor might use for describing a property in an engaging way or something along that line. And it came back to me. I really wanted a copy and paste prompt that I could just throw into a guide, just like I did here. That's exactly what I did. Simplify. Use AI to help you craft a detailed description for your video. A good prompt to use might look like this. You can copy and paste this into ChatGPT and just change out the pieces that are in parentheses here or in brackets. And you'll get something like this. So here's an example prompt. Please generate a YouTube video description for a video about blah, 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 blah. You put that information in there and it will create everything you want. But here's the thing to remember about AI. When you're talking with ChatGPT or whatever your chosen AI platform is, mine just happens to be ChatGPT. They're all pretty similar in value. Talk to it like it's a person. And so when I asked it to give me a sample prompt for a realtor that wanted to do XYZ, it returned a prompt that was probably a page long. And I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked at how in-depth it was and how much information that it thought to cover. I hadn't thought to cover that. And I thought, holy cow. And so I copied that huge prompt. It was literally a prompt. I copied that huge prompt and I plugged in a property address and the other information that it suggested that I put in there. And then I gave it back to it again. And it gave me, the output that it gave me was insane. So when you are sitting looking at AI and you need to create something, ask it how you should talk to it. Ask it, give me a good prompt that will help me create a 1-minute video that tells a story about why to live in Vieira, Florida. Whatever it is, tell me how to ask you these questions. And if you ask AI how to talk to it, you'll be shocked at how the responses will increase in quality. and just have conversations with AI as if it were a person, as if it were your assistant. Ask it to do something. And then when it returns that information to you, if you don't like it, say, okay, that's okay, but now I want you to rewrite it and add this, or rewrite it and make it more casual, or rewrite that and make it more professional, or I need it to be longer. Just talk to it like it's a person. And you'll be surprised if you're not already doing that. And some of you may be. If you're not already doing that, you'll be surprised at how the outcomes will increase. So the next section we have here is promoting your YouTube videos. And I know you all are already using social media. I'm not reinventing the wheel here either. But speaking specifically to the strategy for promoting videos, there's a short section here for Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And I don't know how many of you are using LinkedIn right now for promoting yourself in your community. If you are actively using LinkedIn right now, put a yes in the chat. If you're thinking about it, mention that. I'd really be interested in knowing how many of you are using LinkedIn as a credibility booster. So I actually engage less and less with social media overall. Frankly, if I wasn't in the marketing industry, I probably would not be using social media at all. I personally see a trend towards moving away from social media in general. I think that we are seeing more of a shift back to more traditional, old school marketing, if you will, relationship building. And the people who are focusing their marketing efforts on relationship building, I believe will be the winners as we move forward. And for me, LinkedIn is more in alignment with relationship building than any other social media platform at the moment. I didn't put TikTok on here intentionally because it's just not an area that I'm working in heavily at the moment. And so I didn't want to weigh in on something I'm not well versed in. LinkedIn.
It also is as far as, sorry, really quick, Janice,
Yeah,
as far
no,
as
please.
TikTok, I know a lot of people ask about TikTok and are a little intimidated by TikTok as far as making content. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Brevard, we all know Brevard is a little bit behind when it comes to certain things, and this is one of them. Everybody is still doing business on Facebook. The only place to start really like trying to get a foot in the door would be Instagram, but TikTok is not here yet in Brevard, so we have nothing to worry about on that end.
I agree with that. I do. And our demographic, going back to knowing who your audience is, our demographic
Absolutely.
is Facebook, more Facebook relative, and
100%.
Instagram. Yeah. So LinkedIn, if you're not actively using LinkedIn for connecting on a professional level, I would encourage you to do that. It's a great place to build to support, maybe not build, but to support professional relationships. And so the strategy on LinkedIn for sharing your YouTube videos is a little different than Facebook and Instagram. On LinkedIn, I would specifically share videos that focus on professional and educational value. And so how you classify that is up to you. It's most appropriate, in my opinion, for content that market trends, investment advice, things like that. You can write a brief post, explains how your video benefits the viewer, tag industry colleagues or influencers to expand reach. So again, that goes back to the whole collaboration feel from in LinkedIn. Collaboration, which takes me to collaborations and guest appearances. I am a huge fan of collaboration. As you can see, I've collaborated with Supreme Title for several years now, here and there, not on a regular ongoing basis, but enough. And I feel a relationship and with them, a close relationship with them. And that started with a referral from a colleague, somebody that I worked with in a networking group referred me to them. They were looking for somebody to do some presentations back in 2020 when we were all stuck in the house. And fun fact, I love Tracy and I love Rose. And I correct me if I'm wrong, Rose, but I don't think we've ever breathed the same air. I'm pretty sure we've never been in the same place
Yeah,
together.
I don't think so. Like, because you know
So,
how I try to decide on that? If I know how tall someone is.
yeah, okay, okay, fair, fair. Yeah, I love it. But
And I'm
I
like, I don't know
consider
how tall
you,
Janice is.
right? I'm short, by the way, I'm short.
I could have guessed.
But I consider you and I consider like I have a strong loyalty to Supreme Title. I consider you and Tracy both colleagues and trusted advisors in your field because
Thank
we've built
you.
that type of collaborative relationship. And so
We
it's
agree.
thank you. I appreciate that too. So I encourage you definitely to find collaborators. And a lot of you already do that. I know with lenders and title agents and appraisers and that sort of thing, but consider collaborating with them in the video world too, because the more collaboration that you have on a video, the more exposure that you're going to get to it, obviously. There are some tips for approaching collaborators, engaging with your community. We all know that engagement is important. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but it's difficult. And at the end of the day, I always recommend that you reach out to your circle to kickstart that engagement if you can possibly and return the favor. We're seeing engagement drop in social media, all social media platforms, because again, which I believe supports my position. I could be wrong, but I do believe that the statistics support my position, which is that we're getting less and less engagement online. People are losing their fascination with social media. And I watched a video recently from an industry leader who said we are becoming a zero-click society. We just don't click on things and engage with things the way we used to. So it becomes much more difficult to assess the success of what you've done. And it also becomes difficult to fight the algorithms, which they're still set up that the more someone engages with your content, the more they show it. So in some cases, you have to kind of kickstart that by asking your collaborators. Holy cow, it's 11 o'clock. Okay. Well, here's the last little piece, and I really want anyone who has questions to be able to jump in. This little closing statement for me on the last page just again says, don't get hung up on being perfect or doing everything. Over time you can add new things, but if you only use one piece of this, please let it be the YouTube optimization guide, and you can use it as a checklist, and it will absolutely help you get more views, and it will absolutely help you stand out from the competition, which is what we all want to do, whether we admit it or not. Of course, it's what we want to do. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope that I didn't put anyone to sleep, and it's a little different style than what I usually do, but it was just such a big topic. And thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions? Anything that you'd like to talk about?
So I'm looking
Yes,
in the chat.
yes, yes.
So Rowena asked if there's recommendations for a beginner editing program that would be free. I think you did address that though.
Yes, I would look at the tools. I don't know that I really, I'm going to make a note to myself to kind of take a look at. Let me just write that down. Beginner's editing tool.
To be honest with you,
Um,
Rowena, I would say Canva. Canva
yeah,
is really useful. Here, let me show you guys my face. Sorry. Hi. So Canva, like you can do a lot on there. You can edit video. I mean, you can edit the length of the video, you can put effects on it, you can make like slideshows more like on a uh PowerPoint kind of side. So there are limitations on Canva, but for a beginner such as yourself, I would say that Canva would be a good place to start because you
You,
have at least a level of familiarity with it already as well.
you know, that I'm so glad that you said that because I did a project. I worked a project for a client, and we did some TikTok video clips, and I was just kind of like, well, I don't want to do this. And I went to Canva, and I had never used Canva. I only used it just that one time for video editing, and I actually went and I got a TikTok video template that already had everything in there. And then he gave me his little video clips, and I just went in and switched out their their content for the clips that he gave me, and it was super easy. So that
Yeah.
was great. That was good. Good info.
So, aside from that, we're really just getting like requests for like the checklist and the guide that you have.
Yes.
So I know you'll send me your slides most likely. We did record this, everybody. Yay. So normally we can't record because our classes are taught by our underwriter, but because Janice is teaching this class, she did allow us to record. Woohoo, woohoo. So that will be
Yes.
uploaded to our YouTube channel that you were just looking at.
Yay.
That'll be this afternoon. It'll go up, and then you guys will get the email with the link to that tomorrow. In that as well, we'll have the link to the Knowledge is Power group. Still join that. I am going to put the link to the YouTube of this recording on the Knowledge is Power group, so you can get it there. You'll get it directly, and you'll get it through the link of that. Um, if you guys have any free time, I'm on my way to a broker's open in Rockledge, the one Suites on Serenity. It's gonna be beautiful. I'm getting the sweets from Thrifty, so they're gonna be delicious. And if you have time to stop by, we'd love to see you. I'll be there. And then we have another one with Danielle Campbell down in Palm Bay. So if you're down in the Bay, go hit that one up. If you're up here in the north part of the county, come see me. And thank you so much. Don't forget about the movie night. If you want to come to the movie night, please go and RSVP now. We already have like 150 RSVPs. So like it is filling up. You got to secure your seats if you want to come. What else? I know Kamira at the beginning mentioned our credit hours and cocktails. That will really fill up quickly because we have not had one this year. So that only has 50 seats. When you get that email, sign up right away if you want that seat because they are going to go quick. Janice's second part of this social media series is next week. So next week, same time, we are going to be right here again, and she is going to be going over a Facebook business page and Facebook advertisements and how to really engage with your Facebook audience and understand how to target your ads correctly. So that's a big one. Don't miss that. Go sign up. The registration's open for that on our website. Janice, thank you so, so much.
You're
Um,
welcome.
and you
Now,
will send me that handout, correct? To have
yes, and
the
I just wanted to mention, just to clarify to everyone, so the material that we looked at during the class is the handout. It's a 23-page guide, and everything that we went over today, everything you saw on the screen is in that guide, and you're going to get a copy of it.
fantastic. So look at that.
Yes.
You get the
Yeah.
copy of the slides slash handout, and you get the recording. Amazing. Gotta
All
love
of it.
Janice.
Yeah. I hope
All
it was
right, everyone.
helpful.
Yes, you
Thank
are always so
you.
helpful. Thank you so much. We're so glad to have you back on Zoom with us.
Thanks.
All right, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Hopefully, I'll see you at the Brokers Open. And if not, soon. Bye.